Forgive me. I feel it again. The call of the light. Supreme Leader senses it. Show me, and I'll let nothing stand in our way. Show me, Grandfather, and I will finish what you started.
Hey guys, it's Monday the 21st. The weekend's out. I figured now would be as good a time as any to give you my Star Wars The Force Awakens review. It's spoiler filled this time. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, I'll put up an annotation for my spoiler free review that you can watch in the meantime. This one's going to be going more in depth in the plot, assuming that you've already seen the movie. So if you still want to watch it, if you still haven't seen the movie, go see it. Go see the spoiler free review, because I'm going to be telling you pretty much everything about the movie. So fair warning. Just fair warning. So the plot begins with, as indicated in the opening crawl, Luke Skywalker's vanished. He's went into self-imposed exile because, and now both the Resistance, who are part of the New Republic, and the First Order, who are an organization that's been established from the remnants of the Galactic Empire, are both searching for him, especially Kylo Ren on orders of Supreme Leader Snork, because they believe he's the last of the Jedi and believe that he will become a threat if he's still alive, and subsequently has a chance to train more Jedi. So Finn of course is the defector and former stormtrooper who helps Poe Dameron escape from the First Order after he's captured by Kylo Ren. And there's actually this really funny moment, and this is something I liked about the movie, like the humorous moments between Poe Dameron and Finn, where they establish they have chemistry. They strike up a quick friendship, and Poe asks why Finn's helping him, and Finn says, "Because it's the right thing to do." And Poe immediately goes, "You need a pilot to get out of here, don't you?" And just moments like that where Finn has him at gunpoint, and he's telling him, "Act natural." Poe goes, "I am acting natural." Finn goes, I'm talking to myself." And there are just moments where Kylo Ren's about to interrogate Poe, and Poe responds, "So do you talk first or I talk first? Because I can't understand you with all this, apparatus and whatnot." It felt a little bit Josh Whedon-y, and it's like moments like that where it just felt like this whole world felt more real to me. And also, so eventually escape. Poe's presumed dead after they shot down and crash landed on Jakku, and Finn eventually finds BB-8 with Rey, and after being chased down by the First Order's TIE fighters, there's this moment where they're about to escape in the ship. Finn points to another ship and goes, "What about that one?" Rey goes, "That one's garbage." Their original ship blows up and goes, "The garbage will do." And they both run to what turns out to be the Millennium Falcon. Rey's never flown the thing before, and she's never flown it before. And there's this moment where when the guns in the back that Luke and Han were using to blast TIE fighters, and then New Hope gets locked in the forward position, Finn shuts down the Millennium Falcon. They do a fall forward, and Finn's able to shoot the last of the TIE fighters, and then they can make their escape. And so there are hints that Finn's not the one who's force sensitive, even though the marketing has been led us to believe that it's Rey, especially with the fact that she's been living on a desert planet, wearing the similar garbs to Luke in A New Hope. She has the action figure. She's wearing like a Rebel Alliance, fighter helmet. There's the fact that later on in the movie they go to this planet called Takanada, and a person named Maskanada takes her down to a part of the bar which holds Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber, she touches it and has visions of Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren slaughtering the Jedi Padawans that Luke was training, and also an image of Luke placing his hand on R2-D2 like in the trailer. And it's because of Kylo Ren's actions that Luke goes into a self-imposed exile, and why Han and Leia also become separate. Also, they're separated because Kylo Ren is revealed to be his birth name is revealed to be Ben Solo. He is Han and Leia's biological son. And I wasn't surprised by the twist because there was already speculation on the internet, based on the fact that in the old expanded universe, Han and Leia had a son who did turn to the dark side, and a lot of people were speculating they were going to go the same route, even though J.J. Abrams and company said otherwise. But I still enjoyed it nevertheless. It was a great twist. It made a lot of sense as to why the main three characters would be separated and gone their separated, and why Luke would go into this self-imposed exile, because he let down his sister and brother-in-law and went down the same path as Anakin, and he's also family. So he just felt like he let them down, and the Jedi Padawans, obviously, whose blood he probably feels like is on his hands. He wasn't strong enough to prevent this from happening. Han and Leia feel like they didn't do enough for their son, so Han goes back to smuggling, and Leia goes back to becoming a general out of the Resistance. And as a result, at some point, Han lost the Falcon until he uses an old First Order freighter ship to use a tractor beam to get the Falcon back with Rey and Finn still on board. And they use it to escape these other, space loan sharks with Rey, Finn, and BB-8, and that's how they go to Takanada, and that's how they're followed there by Kylo Ren in the First Order. And she doesn't want to be, Rey doesn't want to be part of it. But I love the twist that we had our first, female lead for the new generation, our first lead female Jedi, which is very great, which I'm over the moon about. It was a very cool idea on their part, and I like it was a pleasant surprise, and which more props to the marketing for the whole mislead and making us think that, it's probably Finn. I mean, he's competent enough with weapons and a lightsaber, but he gets his ass kicked pretty quickly by stormtroopers and Kylo Ren. Now, Kylo Ren, he's an interesting villain because of the fact that they made him not... he's obviously emulating his mannerisms and physical appearance of Darth Vader, but he's definitely different than Darth Vader. He's not as cold as calculating as Vader. He's obviously much younger. He doesn't have as much training, just because whenever somebody screws up, Vader would, force choke an officer to death. Kylo Ren would just whip out his lightsaber and start destroying everything in the entire room out of frustration, which leads to this one comedic moment where when Kylo captures Rey, she's able to get out of the interrogation room by using a Jedi mind trick on the stormtrooper by saying, "You will unlock these shackles and let me leave the door open." And he eventually does that, and the stormtrooper eventually does that, and she says, "You will also drop your weapon." He goes, "I will also drop my weapon," which led to a big laugh out loud moment, followed by another laugh out loud moment where Kylo Ren gets pissed off that Rey escapes, so he takes out his lightsaber, starts destroying the interrogation room, and two stormtroopers are walking by and hear what's going on, so they just casually decide to walk away and give him some space. And like I said, Daisy Ridley did a great job. Her acting was fantastic. I look forward to. Obviously, there's a lot of suggestions. There's a lot of hints that she is Luke's daughter. Although it is kind of cruel and strange that when she had this vision that she was dropped off at Jakku with this alien who she keeps bartering old parts of space, Rebel Alliance, Galactic Empire ships and terrain vehicles, because of like apparently based on the new expanded universe, Jakku was apparently the last like imperial stronghold, and also like the final battle between the Galactic Empire and the Rebel Alliance. It wasn't the Battle of Endor, and that's apparently led to this truce between the both sides until the events of this movie at some point. So it's I don't know. I mean, it's a lot. It's pretty on the nose references saying that she's probably Luke's daughter, but you know, we'll wait and see, and they'll probably fill in some of these plot holes in 8 and 9. Also, you know, Carrie Fisher was back. She was did a great job as being like an older, you know, wise leader. You know, she wasn't. There's obviously this progression from becoming, you know, I guess sort of like brash, kind of hot-headed princess. You know, she was kind of filled in like the Mothra role from the original trilogy at this point, in a sense, and we got to see C-3PO and eventually R2-D2 at the end, you know, providing the other portion of the map to help find Luke Skywalker. My only disappointment with Luke Skywalker's appearance, I mean, I was fine that he only had a small role, that it was like a cameo at the end. I guess it's a nitpicky thing. I guess I would have thought that he would just, you know, walked up to Rey instead of having her just like, awkwardly stand there, like, with her like holding his old lightsaber in front of him, and just say something. He could have said something, even if it was as cliche as, you know, "Welcome home," or "I've been waiting for you," something like that. But by the way, I mean, I like the lightsaber battle she had with Kylo Ren at the end, towards the end, just because, and I like the lightsaber fights in this movie in general, just because like they didn't feel too choreographed like in episode 1, but they also didn't feel like, you know, people were just kind of like in episodes 2 and 3, in which you know, they're more fast-paced in the original trilogy, but they weren't like in episodes 2 and 3 where it's just like somebody got the finishing blow on one opponent because someone was just like standing there awkwardly, and it was just like poorly edited and choreographed. So we got like a nice happy medium of like some good lightsaber battles with, you know, Kylo Ren and Finn, and then Kylo Ren and Rey. And people were saying, and I guess people were feeling, I guess people were complaining that it's like, how could she beat Kylo Ren so easily? Is because, well, they're both untrained. You know, especially Kylo Ren, he's more brash and doesn't have the same amount of training. I guess like Supreme Leader Snork just gave him enough training just to make him efficient and just help him make him do the dirty work. But I guess now he's decided that he's going to become a more ruthless force on the First Order. And J.J. Abrams said that he wanted to have like a general progression of the character where he starts off as like somewhat weak, like he wants to, like, he's not like Vader, where Vader was like essentially made a deal with the devil to try to save his family, and became this this monster who was self-loathing and hated himself for it until Luke came into the picture. Kylo Ren, he wants to embrace the dark side. He thinks that his attachment to the light side is a weakness, and essentially wants to be evil, and sees himself as a hero in his own way. To the point where I guess probably one of the most devastating and shocking scenes in this movie, when Han was trying to reason with him on the catwalk in the Starkiller base, and it started to become apparent what was going to happen. But Kylo Ren essentially impales Han with his lightsaber and pushes his body pushes him off the edge of the side of the catwalk. You know, Chewie shot him in revenge. I mean, he's not dead, obviously, but injured enough during his fight with Finn and Rey that they were that at least the latter was able to get the upper hand on him. And basically, the Starkiller base, it's similar to the Death Star, except the Death Star was the size of a moon. The Starkiller base was a planet essentially retrofitted with a laser cannon that absorbs the power of the sun and then it fires it at a star system and then destroys all the planets in that system simultaneously, which it does to, according to Wikipedia, Hosnian Prime, which is the capital of the New Republic. So I guess that means like the New Republic is gone and only the Resistance remains. I'm not entirely sure. Is what I got from that. Is what they use as like the test fire of the thing. But of course, like the Death Star, Finn, Finn leads Han and leads Han back to the Starkiller base, and they have to infiltrate like a thermal not an exhaust port, like a stabilizer or something, just so they can, the Resistance can do, the X-wing squadron can do like a bomb run multiple times in order to destabilize the whole laser cannon, so the planet would explode on itself. Would led to a funny moment where Finn is asked by Han like what he did as a member of the First Order. Finn says he was a sanitation officer, and Han says, "Sanitation? The galaxy's counting on us. How are we supposed to disable this thing?" Finn goes, "We'll use the Force." "That's not how the Force works." And then Chewie's roaring, and Han goes, "Oh, you're cold?" And then, of course, they get to Captain Phasma, who's like a high-ranking stormtrooper played by Gwendolyn Christie from Game of Thrones. And then they have her at gunpoint, and then, of course, this whole thing with Finn is like, "Hey, guess what, Phasma? I'm in charge now. I'm calling the shots now." And Han has to be like, "Okay, kid, take it down. Okay, kid, take it down a notch, okay?" Like, and it's just like those little moments like that just felt like they weren't like they were just doing like a bunch of jokes and antics. It was just like the characters just acting naturally in the situation in a sense. I'm disappointed that we didn't get to see more of Captain Phasma, but I guess they're going for more like, more taciturn character like Boba Fett and Darth Maul, where it's like, oh, we don't know much about him, but then try to make him turn him into a fan favorite that way. And word of mouth is that she will be back for episode 8, which thank God, because I thought that, like they said, they threw her down the trash compactor and she would presumably blew up with the rest of the planet. I mean, she, Kylo Ren, and General Hux, who's essentially the Grand Moff Tarkin for the First Order, got off the planet in time was a mystery to me, but it seems like Supreme Leader Snork has plans for Kylo Ren, and people have been theorizing that Darth Plagueis is actually the Supreme Leader Snork. Like Snork is like Darth Plagueis reincarnated. I was skeptical about that, but I've become more open-minded to that idea, and it seems like it would be pretty cool if that's, if he really find a way to cheat death and is now playing a major role now in the Star Wars franchise, a more active role in the Star Wars franchise again. And again, it sucks that, Han was gone. I like the Kylo Ren twist, and this is people might complain this feels like too much like A New Hope, but I just felt, I guess there were some moments where it's like, give this information, give a map to a droid to find an old Jedi Master, and go, and they're on the run. These unlikely heroes are banding together, and I guess destroy this like planet, destroy this planet destroying space station. But I guess like it's forgivable just because it's like they don't, it's forgivable because they have like a scavenger, a defector, and an ace pilot. They're not like the archetypes that were presented in the original trilogy. I don't think feel like it's being too slavish to A New Hope. There are some differences with characters, and you know how certain plot points play, you know how plot points play out. It's like yes, they're in a bar, you know, droid, you know, valuable droid, that kind of stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, I feel like it was more of an homage. I felt like it became more of an homage to the original trilogy without going too far as to being like a rip off in the same way that say like, you know, Superman Returns was. So overall, this was very emotionally fulfilling. This is probably one of my favorite movies of the year. One of the most fun movies. One of the most. It's the most fun I've had in the movies. I mean, I've seen this like twice already, and I'll probably see it at least two more times. At least want to see it two more times, and it's just a fantastic movie, and I just totally worth seeing as many times as your budget will allow. So that's my thoughts on the Star Wars The Force Awakens. If there's anything I didn't talk about, please feel free to leave it in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to put up my videos for Sisters and also Supergirl soon and Gotham. And I'm going to leave I'm going to leave a playlist for my other movie reviews up here, and also if you haven't watched it yet, my annotation for my Jessica Jones review, my multi-part Jessica Jones review, if you haven't seen that yet. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.